Okay.
Whew, gotta hydrate after all that drinking. I did.
Oh my. All right. Well, I'm recording now.
Great. I did do a lot of drinking, so now everyone can know.
Oh, well. Maybe I'll cut this part out at the beginning so nobody knows you've been drinking.
Why?
Oh,
I'm over
okay.
21. It's completely legal.
Look, I don't want to. I don't want to have anyone have a bad impression of you for being an alcoholic.
No, see that? See, this is the part you cut out now because I'm not an alcoholic. You can drink.
No, I'll
not
leave this in. Hello, everybody.
great.
Welcome back to another lovely episode of What Did the Gays Think? How's it going, Pat?
Great now that I have my water. Gotta stay hydrated, especially in these times.
I've got my water over here too.
Wow.
It's fine. Everyone watching on YouTube will be able to see me sip, but sorry for people listening on Spotify.
But if you put your throat next to the mic and you gulp really loud,
I don't think people want to hear that. I don't think.
Music to my ears. Just gulp.
All right, Pat. What are we going to be talking about today? Since apparently you refuse to tell me what it is because you want my live reaction to what we're going to be talking about.
Yes, because I realized that a lot of our episodes, not to anyone's fault, but the world's fault, have been kind of they always end on like a bummer note a little bit, just because like the world sucks right now. So like everything we talk about obviously kind of sucks.
That's true. It's true.
We try to make, light of certain things, but at the end of the day, a lot of it is just rough out there. It's hard out there.
It'd be like that. It is hard out there.
So I was like, I was going to talk about QAnon. And for those who don't know what that is, very briefly, it's like a conspiracy theory where like the Democrats are a bunch of pedophiles that like run a deep state group in our country and control everything.
Wait, that's not true?
No. Yeah, it isn't. Not that I haven't found a shred of evidence that proves otherwise, but I was like, wow, that's interesting, but it's also a bummer. Because there are people that actually believe it, and I didn't want to give them the time of day just yet.
All right.
So
instead, are you gonna lighten the mood for us a little bit? What are we talking about?
I want to talk about something that's always provided me joy and levity and happiness.
Okay.
And that is the show Grey's Anatomy. So I'm going to give everyone a TED Talk on this show and why it's amazing.
Okay.
Because we need a respite, right? Respite.
A respite.
Whatever that word.
Respite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the garbage of our daily lives. And with COVID cases constantly increasing, this tumultuous change in power between Trump and Biden and all the voter fraud allegations, we all need a break. And just Thursday, the 12th rather, the new season premiered. So that's why it was in my mind. And even though this will air much later than that, this is where we are today.
Yeah,
so super excited.
Just so everyone knows, we're recording this on November 15th, 2020. So if this comes out a few weeks after when we're recording it, just to give you an idea of when we're recording this and what the time frame is like. So we'll see when this comes out, though.
I like how you gave them the year 2020, just in case this thing doesn't come out till next year. They'll know it was recorded.
What if someone's listening to this a year from now? They need to know when this is happening.
I guess. Sure.
They'd be like, Grey's Anatomy, that ended, didn't it?
It better not. It better not.
All right, so tell me about Grey's Anatomy, because first of all, yes. I have never seen it.
Well, this is going to be a lot of spoilers. So if anyone's watching it currently, wants to watch it, or has any indication of seeing anything about it, you're warned right now.
Here's your spoiler warning for Grey's Anatomy season 26 or something.
26. If they made it to 26, I'd be so happy. But no. Thursday was the premiere of the 17th season.
17? I was close.
Yeah, you were this close. With currently, it might be picked up for an 18th season. We don't know yet. But
oh my God. So am I a bad gay for never watching Grey's Anatomy?
No, because the first thing I want to talk about is this damn TikTok I saw.
Oh.
It was, I believe, a woman. I can't remember exactly. She was saying, I'm paraphrasing here. She's like, I don't want to be straight phobic, but like, I don't understand when people say Grey's Anatomy is like the best show, implying that it's only for straight people. And I don't know about this person, but Grey's Anatomy has a huge gay following. And I'll get into why that is later.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It doesn't make you a bad gay, it just makes you a bad person.
Oh, right.
This show is lit. And so some very quick facts about the show.
Can I real quickly say, I'm glad you've called me a bad person for not watching the show.
Well, I don't make the rules.
Who makes the rules then? The gays? The gays?
No, Shonda Rhimes, who created the show, she makes the rules. And anyone who doesn't watch it, they're a bad person because of it.
Well, shit.
Anyway, it's currently the longest running medical drama on television, with its 17 seasons versus ER, which was 15 seasons. It is the longest running network television primetime scripted series for the ABC network, which is great. It averages about a 2.8 rating with 3.6 million viewers in the demographic of 18 to 49-year-olds, with a total of 10 million viewers, which is a
2.8 rating.
The rating scale, I don't know if it's out of 10. I think it's out of 4.
Out of 4? Who rates things out of 4?
I don't know, because sometimes they'll do like 4 stars and then like they'll divide it up in between there. But I have some other ratings for it to better the scale. IMDb gives it a 7.6 out of 10. TV.com gives it an 8.8. 96% of Google users liked it, and Rotten Tomatoes gives it an average 80% audience score and 83% critical response score. So it is up there.
So is the purpose of this episode going to be to convince everyone listening to watch the show?
Yeah, to make sure it stays on the air. Yeah, if everyone could just go out their way and just watch one episode to increase that rating, that'd be great.
Right, as we proceed to spoil the entire show.
Yeah, I mean, okay, they could stop now, watch the show, then come back.
Right, 17 seasons worth of content.
Yeah, and then they come back, and then like 3 years later, and then they'll finish this episode. But yeah, so it's still very well liked, although yes, there have been some ups and downs and some drama on the show. But I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to go into the nice parts of it.
Okay.
So it was created by Shonda Rhimes, who is this lovely woman who was also involved in the creation and production of several other related shows, such as Private Practice, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, and Station 19, all of which are somehow related to Grey's Anatomy, except for How to Get Away with Murder is not really related. But it has a lot of like the same people working on it as the other shows.
I was going to say related as in they take place in the same universe.
Some like Station 19, Private Practice, and Grey's Anatomy all take place in the same universe.
Oh,
Scandal
wow.
and How to Get Away with Murder take place in the same universe, and some people like to ship all of it together. But Shonda Rhimes, has her hand in everything, so she likes to kind of keep everything close knit.
Wow, queen.
I know. Back in 2017, she made a deal with Netflix for any future production of hers to be Netflix original series. So she is just out there. So a woman of color out there making so much goddamn money.
Hell yeah.
You love to see it.
We stan women of color in media, in Hollywood, anywhere.
And speaking of, she, when it came to casting, she's quoted to have said, "Take half the characters that you made men and make them women. Take one character you were going to cast one color and cast them differently. I think it's important for people to rethink, because what people see on television changes what people think about themselves." So she's very into diversity. So if you look at the casts of the show, whether it's the main cast, recurring cast, or just all characters in general, there is a lot of diversity. More so now than it was back then. But
oh my god, I love that.
Yeah.
You want to know why I love that?
Because you love diversity?
I love diversity, but also like, I had an epiphany a while ago. So I was writing a book, which I've actually finished writing. I just need to edit it.
Yes.
But after I finished writing the first draft, I looked it over and I was like, wow, like I need more representation of women in this story because it's a lot of men.
Well, you write what you love, and I know you love men.
That's true. I write what I love. So I went through and I was like, yeah, this is way too much. Let me take some of these men and replace them with women. And I like the story more now.
because when it accurately represents what your life is like or what the population is like, things are just way better.
Things are way better. So I like that. Queen, we stand.
When the show first aired, season 1, which was a reduced number of episodes, so it was really short, the main cast had 5 male and 4 female cast members, and 2 male or 2 men and 2 women were also people of color. So already from season 1, there was a diverse both in gender and people of color.
Hell yeah.
And that has changed over the seasons because they've gotten new cast members. This show has like such a high turnover rate for characters because here's the thing. Everyone loves to say how like Game of Thrones, you couldn't get attached to anyone because at any moment they got killed off. This show crawled so Game of Thrones could walk because you can't love anyone on this show because they die. This show has so many deaths, tragedies. Just at one point, one of the characters have a very meta self-reflective moment, and she's like, "Why does this keep happening to us? Like, why are we still in this hospital when there are all these bad things, which I'll get into later, happening around us? We're insane." So they have a very high turnover rate.
So basically, you're telling me if I don't want to be sad, I should not watch this show.
Oh. I guarantee you, almost every episode, there is a moment that I am just like overwhelmed with emotion, whether it's sadness, happiness, just like anything. I just watched the 2 episodes that premiered earlier this morning, and there was a moment between like a mother and a son, and the mother was like looking at the son in the hospital bed crying, and she was telling him, even though he was unconscious and couldn't hear her, that she loved him over and over again.
Tears.
I couldn't handle it. I just can't handle it. So you don't want to watch the show if you don't want to be sad, because this is just
well, I'm always sad, so that's okay.
Well, yeah, when you live a sad life, I mean. So
for someone who has not watched this show, explain like what's the premise? What do we? I know you've mentioned hospital already, but like what's the premise?
Right. So basically, Grey's Anatomy follows the doctor, originally intern Meredith Gray. And it's basically her, other interns, and the whole cast dealing with interpersonal problems and medical problems. The show is marketed as like a medical drama, but it's really a soap opera. Like the medicine always takes a backseat to the drama between the people on the show.
Okay.
So it's usually sexual drama. Everyone's sleeping with everyone. Everyone fucks everyone in that show. Everyone fucks everyone. Everyone dies. Everyone gets like some sort of illness or disease. It's just terrible.
So this is Game of Thrones, except in a hospital.
Except in a hospital, with a lot more clothed scenes, not a lot of nudity, as opposed to Game of Thrones.
All right, that's a good thing.
Yeah, so it's about her just dealing with like interpersonal stuff, doctor stuff, and eventually her going from an intern to like a resident to like a attending, and then to chief of general surgery, and then she's on the board of like the hospital at some point. And it's about everyone that she knows, her love interests, her friends, their love interests, whatever.
In contrast to a show like House or something where it's very focused on the medical stuff.
Yes, yeah. The first couple seasons, they do focus a bit more on the medicine, but it's a lot of drama still. And then what they try to do is like every season they have like 1 or 2 medical plot lines that kind of are multi-episode. So you get to follow like the patients and the diagnoses that happen. But a lot of times that's backseat irrelevant stuff, because most of the time, the doctors are struggling with something. They have a patient that's struggling with something similar. And through their like experience, they gain knowledge about themselves and how to deal with their life. Very on the nose.
Wholesome content.
It is wholesome. That's what I like the most. So I'll get into like what happens on the show, but first I just want to go over some of the nice stuff because of the show has been around, like nice things that have happened because of it.
Okay.
So we already talked about the diversity in terms of gender and race, but there's also diversity in terms of the LGBTQ plus members, I should say.
Yes. Tell me about the gays.
as far as I can tell from like main recurring cast, there have been around 10 different characters that fall under the umbrella. Most of them are women because the show is predominated by women, which is great. And you know, you have gay characters, bisexuals, lesbians, transgender characters. Just everyone's just in there running around, fucking each other, basically.
Hell yeah.
But there, besides that, like the viewership, people who've watched it have also gained, you know, like, or have had better lives because of the show. So there was an episode about like a sexual assault case, and at the end of the episode, Ellen Pompeo, the actress who plays Meredith Gray, put the hotline for RAINN, which is the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network, for people to call in case they had any experience with that. And apparently within 48 hours of the episode airing, the hotline increased 43% incoming calls. So after the episode aired, 43% more calls were received for women or anyone who has experienced any of those things.
Oh, cute.
Which we love. We love that shit.
Not cute, but...
Well, we love people reaching out for support and help. That's what we love.
Yes, that is what we love.
Yeah, we don't love the other thing. A Wisconsin woman back in 2011 was having a heart attack, but was kept alive by her daughter and her daughter's friend because they learned CPR by watching the show.
Wow.
Cute.
Very cute.
A breast cancer survivor watched an episode where a character had been misdiagnosed of saying that there was no problem, you don't have breast cancer. But it kind of spooked her so much, she got a second opinion from a different doctor, and it turns out she did have breast cancer. And they caught it in time, and she was able to go into remission for it. But only because she saw that episode and had a similar misdiagnosis.
Nice.
Ellen Pompeo, who plays Meredith Gray, was on Good Morning America, and they had 3 women there who all thanked her for inspiring them to become like medical practitioners of some sort, like nurses or doctors or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There was a 2008 study that showed that viewers had their perception changed about high-risk HIV pregnancies, and not only that their perception was changed on it, they were actually able to retain the medical facts up to 6 weeks after the show even aired. So it was trying to show that the show has positive, lasting impacts on people's knowledge of actual things. Like, in question, it was, could a woman give birth to an HIV negative baby if she is HIV positive with treatment? Prior to the episode, most of the people they asked said no, the baby will definitely have HIV, but that's not true. With the right course of treatment, there's actually a good chance that the baby will be born without HIV. And after seeing the episode, they were asked again, and obviously most of them responded that you could. And then 6 weeks later, they asked them again, and they were able to retain that knowledge. More than 50% of the people asked.
Wow, so it's very educational.
Yes, it's having positive impacts. And last little good piece of I guess it's good for her. So in 2020, they named Ellen Pompeo as the 10th highest paid actress in television, because she earned $22 million in 2019 for her role. And now she makes about $20 million per season, which I don't like that people make that much money, but I am happy a woman on TV is able to like be the main character of a show. It lasts this long, even after so many other characters have left, and still make that much money. Like, that's just impressive at the end of the day.
Yes, I love that. Oh my God.
So, do you want to make $20 million? Because I do. I would love that.
Oh, hang on. Because this is going to come through on the recording now. People are messaging me on Facebook. So let me close that. What?
Is it your mom?
People messaging me on Facebook. No.
Yeah, maybe it's your mom.
Oh, it's 4:20. Hang on. I need to blaze everybody. That's why my group chat is going off. I'll cut this out of the episode, no worries.
Oh, no, you have to keep this in.
Will I?
Oh, yes.
Here Matt is. Oh.
Mid-podcast. We have to stop. Because I have to tell everyone it's 4:20 Blaze.
Yeah, I have to message all my group chats Blaze as soon as it hits the 4:20. Oh God, my
I know
microphone.
marijuana has been legalized, but we don't have to.
All right, what were we talking about?
All right, let's get to what actually happens on the show
Okay,
itself.
okay.
So from the first season to the 17th season, there are only 3 cast members that are still there from the original season. Everyone else has either left, died, left or died. So the
Yikes.
main character, Meredith Gray. So she goes from intern to, resident, attending, general surgeon, whatever. She had a shitty mom. She had a shitty dad. She loves tequila.
Oh,
She just,
girl.
me too. She describes herself as dark and twisty. And honestly, she should have ended up with her best friend, Christina Yang, in a long-term platonic lover kind of situation, but the show didn't pan out that way, unfortunately.
Oh, let me guess. The platonic lover died.
No, she just left. Thankfully, she didn't.
Oh,
She didn't
okay.
die.
Okay.
Yeah. Phew. Secondly is Miranda Bailey, who was from the first season and was kind of their teacher when they first arrived in the hospital. She's originally nicknamed the Nazi, but that nickname eventually got dropped, probably for obvious reasons.
What?
She actually had an episode where she was face to face with a white supremacist who had a swastika tattooed on him. And afterwards, she was like, "No one call me the Nazi again. I don't want to be associated with people like that." And I was like,
Honestly, really though.
there you go.
Jeez, that's pretty prevalent in today as well.
Yes. The funny thing is, so the guy had to get surgery like near the swastika tattoo. So when she sewed it up, she like sewed him like slanted, so it was no longer a swastika.
Good.
Good. I loved it. She's taking control. She also suffers from extreme OCD. Like extreme, like she has to go to therapy and be on medication for it. The show also really shows mental health in a pretty good light. She
We
coined
need
the
more of
term
that.
vajayjay.
The what?
The term vajayjay. She coined it on the show.
Oh, wow. And then it was adopted by the gay community.
Yeah, someone probably had said it before, but the thing is, on the set, someone had said that word. Shonda Rhimes wrote it into the show and had her say it. So I think the scene is she's giving birth to her first kid, I think, and there's a doctor there, and he has to look in the mirror to see because he's behind her, and she's like turning back, and she's like, "Stop looking at my vajayjay." And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to see it either.
What? You wouldn't want to see it?
I wouldn't want to see it, no. No. She is currently the chief of surgery at the hospital. She keeps it very professional, and she has a hot firefighting husband.
Oh, wow.
Delicious.
Some good eye candy for the show.
Oh, my God. Lastly, there's Richard Weber, who is sort of like the father figure who helps a lot of them out, who used to be the chief of surgery, but is now what is called the chief of chiefs, which just means he kind of runs all of the chiefs. I don't know how the hierarchy works, but he's like at the top now.
Okay.
He banged Meredith's mom, and then he got her pregnant, and then he didn't leave his wife Adele for Meredith's mom, so Meredith's mom got mad and ran away and then gave up the baby for adoption and came back and didn't tell Richard that he had gotten her pregnant.
This does sound like a soap opera. Like, this doesn't sound like a hospital show.
The daughter grows up and comes back to work at the hospital and then meets Meredith, who is her half-sister, and there's all this drama between them. It's great. He's also a recovering alcoholic that he also likes to slip up and then go back into his alcoholism a couple times. So all in all, he makes very poor life decisions.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, so those are the 3 remaining characters. There's like a ton of other ones, but I just want to go into the major events of the show.
Okay, tell me.
So there's been 17 seasons, so there's a lot. So this is just a real quick summarized list of all of them. Season 2, there's a train crash. It's not that fun. It's just like a train crash.
Okay.
Season 2, there's a bomb inside the hospital, and it does explode, and it nearly kills Meredith. So this guy comes in with like a bomb inside of him. I don't know how it got there. So they're doing surgery.
Where inside of him? Where?
His abdomen. It was like, oh no, it's just right up his ass. He's with his wife, and he's like, "So you gonna put it in?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's a bomb though." And he's like, "What? That's not what we agreed on at all." So then he gets rushed to the hospital. He has a bomb inside of him. She's doing surgery. They discover it's a bomb, and they're like, the bomb crew comes in. But Meredith has like her hand on it, to make sure it doesn't go off and jostle around because they don't know how much movement is going to cause it to explode. So she can't leave. So they put like a bomb vest on her, which is going to do nothing if it explodes. And then she's doing the surgery. She finally finishes the surgery and she leaves and she watches the bomb like get carried out. And just as they're almost done, it slips and explodes.
Oh,
and
no.
it nearly kills her.
Did it kill the guy, though?
It killed the guy immediately. He exploded.
No.
It did. So then in season 3, there's a ferry crash because it takes place in Seattle right by the water. So there's a ferry crash. It sinks. And then Meredith and a bunch of other doctors are there helping people. And she falls in the water trying to help some girl. And she decides to just kind of drown herself, nearly, because she suffers from a lot of like depression. So she's in the water and she just gives up.
Oh.
She starts sinking. Thankfully, they spot her, they drag her out, but she has basically, her whole body's like tinted blue. She's like, you know, there's like no oxygen left. Thankfully, they resuscitate her, so she's not dead.
Thankfully.
She has a lot of problems. So then we're going to skip to season 6, where there's a hospital shooting. So basically, this guy and his wife come in the beginning of the season or some shit like that. The wife dies under the care of one of the doctors. And then the dad kind of goes insane. The husband goes insane. Is it the wife or is it the daughter? I don't know. One of his family members dies. He comes in, guns blazing. Literally. He comes in, and the scene is great because he's walking around just like minding his own business. He's like, hey, where's Dr. Shepard's office? I want to go speak to him. And the girl is giving him attitude, and she's like a new character, so like she's all sassy. She's like, I don't know, do I look like a nurse? Like, go find one of them. And he looks at her and immediately shoots her in the head, and she dies immediately. And then another character walks by, he sees him, shoots him, and he almost dies. He walks upstairs, shoots another one, and he just keeps shooting people up and down the hospital until he finds Derek Shepard, who is responsible for his family member's death, who is Meredith Gray's husband at the time, shoots him, nearly kills him. And then Meredith has to do surgery on her own dying husband.
Oh, hello?
At the same time, Meredith is pregnant, and the stress causes her to miscarry while she's doing the surgery on her dying husband.
Who made this show? Who made this?
If I remember correctly. A lot of it is kind of meshed together.
Who did this?
Let's see. Season 8 had a huge sinkhole that I don't remember, and I don't think was relevant at all. But season 8 finale was great because there was a plane crash.
Oh my god! What is happening to this hospital?
So they were all on a plane to go do some like transplant surgery or some nonsense. They bought a cheap ass plane. The plane goes down, and then one of the doctors loses a leg, just right off. One of the doctors is crushed by debris, dies. The other doctor, who she is in love with, this other guy, he has like several wounds. He dies much later, but he's dead nonetheless. Derek, who is on the plane, his hand gets all mangled and he can't do surgery for a very long time because he has to do all his physical therapy and he's just messed up from it. Christina Yang has like such severe PTSD, she just dissociates out of her body and just like clocks out for a while. And then Meredith is also on the plane and she is just like screaming for her husband Derek, trying to find him, eventually does, see that his hand's all messed up and feels terrible about it. What's worse is not only was everyone traumatized and a couple people died from that, they didn't find them crashed in the forest for like several days. And apparently, if I remember correctly, when they were stranded and one of them had died under the debris, wolves came at night and ate her remains in front of them.
What kind of show is this?
Then we skip to season 9.
You tried to get me to watch this traumatizing show.
So good. It's so good. Season 9 had a like giant superstorm as like the threat. I don't know. It was kind of boring. The only thing that happened was Richard Webber got electrocuted and nearly died. Nah, I didn't really care about it that much.
Oh, wow.
Season 11, they had an earthquake, which once again, I don't care. Season 13 was wild because not only did the hospital set itself on fire, basically.
Set itself on fire?
Well, no, so someone set it on. Like there was a leak or some shit like that. The whole floor went up in flames. And at season 13 was kind of following the plotline of one of the doctors who was kind of getting disenchanted with being a doctor. So she was kind of like questioning like what she wanted to do in life. So then she's trapped in this hospital on fire, trying to save this one small female patient. But also in the fire hospital floor room, whatever, is a rapist trying to find her.
What?
And I'm not laughing because that's funny. I'm just laughing because of the ridiculousness of the situation that has presented itself. So she is trying to get this girl out of there. There's like a rapist involved. There's fire everywhere. And by the end of it, she gets out and everyone's fine. But she's like, I'm done being a doctor. And she leaves the show and no one ever brings her up again, basically.
Good. If that happened to me, I would also piece the fuck out.
Okay, so yeah, 2 more. So season 15, there was a windstorm, just like a lot of wind. And you'd think, what could happen? A lot of shit was like thrown around. Wind was blowing like tumbleweeds and metal poles around. The only good thing to happen is these 2 gay men who were like flirting with each other basically all the time. Find themselves trapped in one of the ambulances and can't leave because the winds are too strong. They just have sex right in that ambulance.
Oh, good.
And I was like, this is the content I love. This is the content I need.
Is this the content we need?
Well, because a lot of the relationships on the show that were LGBTQ plus were all female to female or female to male that were bisexual relationships, which is fine. But before them, I don't believe there was a male on male relationship.
So this was like the iconic duo.
Yeah, so like 15 seasons in, they finally get it between 2 main characters, if I'm not mistaken. So it finally happened. It was there.
Finally, get some gay representation.
One of them is like a nerd that plays D&D, and the other one's like this really ripped, just athletic, like god of a man. And
we stand.
I love both of them. So then season 16 had something. I think Meredith was like trying to get her license back because she committed insurance fraud.
What?
Listen, for good reason. So this show likes to take in a lot of like current issues and bring them in. So one of them dealt with like school shootings, and one of them, this in season 16, dealt with insurance and how people don't have it, especially if you are an illegal immigrant or you don't have your green card, visa, whatever. You don't automatically get insurance from the government. So this guy comes in with his daughter who has like this severe issue. He has no insurance. Meredith is like, oh, I'll try to do it pro bono and have the hospital pay for it. And they were like, no. So she's like, all right, I'm going to list your daughter as my daughter, and my insurance will cover it thinking it's my daughter.
Oh my.
And obviously that didn't work, and she got her like license revoked for a little bit, and she had to like fight basically a hearing to get it back. And then she like she's like in the boardroom fighting for her license, and there's all these other doctors who are like reading her history, combing over all of her stuff, trying to see if she's like a bad doctor. And on the board there's this one doctor who is tangentially was involved in her husband's death.
Right.
So she recognizes him, and she's like, how dare you, who was too dumb to save my husband, judge me for my license? And the guy realizes who she is and who the husband was and how he did have it. He was dumb and let him die. He gets up and he's like, all right, let's take a break. We'll reconvene. And then he has like a stroke and dies immediately.
What?
He gets up, has a stroke, because she just like yelled at him for a good 5 minutes, terrified the man. He gets up, has a stroke, dies.
So she basically just kills him in the.
So that was season 16, but now we're on season 17, and season 16 was cut short because of COVID. But season 17 actually deals with COVID. So the cast is playing the hospital storylines during the COVID pandemic.
Wow.
So the first 2 episodes aired. So they're dealing with things like shortages of PPE, where they have to keep like reusing their own masks and suits and all that other crap, and how, you know, you have to section off all the COVID patients from everyone else, and how they're not doing like elective surgeries, and how it's all COVID stuff. And but now Meredith might be sick and dying, so I'm very upset.
Oh no, with
She
COVID?
no, so she like didn't sleep a lot because she's been working. So then one of her friends who used to like fuck her on the side was like, you know what? You should get some sleep. You've told me I should sleep. You should sleep. She's like, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna go home and get some sleep. You text me if something bad happens to my patients. She leaves. Rest of the episode goes on the way it is. It ends with her passed out in the parking lot. And then another doctor sees her, runs over, like he's like, get a gurney, get oxygen, whatever. And the episode actually ends with her in like a dream sequence, probably on a beach, and she's reunited with her dead husband.
Aww.
And he died in like, oh god, I don't know, like season 10 or 11. So it's been several years since the actor was even on the show, and like they like wrote him off in a way that it's because he didn't even want to be on the show anymore. So have him back on, and they have the moment where they see each other. Just that's what makes it worth it. That's why you can watch fire-breathing rapists and gays stuck in ambulances and windstorms. Like that's why you watch it, for those good moments.
Right. Because it sounds like, at least to me, that I would be traumatized by this show.
It's all on Netflix, just so you know. It is all on Netflix. And it's amazing. All of it. Even though some of the writing is sometimes really not good, like certain episodes, certain seasons just weren't it. Some of it is just chef's kiss. Just amazing.
So would you say it's been going on for too long, though? Like that they should eventually end it? Or is it still going strong?
I think it now is going strong. There was a lull, like, because Patrick Dempsey, who played her husband on the show, even though Ellen Pompeo was like the main character, he was seen as like the linchpin that really drew viewers to the show.
Mm-hmm.
So after he was written off and the character died, a lot of people, even people who worked at like ABC and stuff, thought the show couldn't go on anymore or it wouldn't draw in the same amount of viewers. And there was like a lull. Like that season, the season after, I was just like, well, okay, it's fine. Then the last like 2 or 3 seasons were very good in my opinion, especially because they're adding in that good gay content. So I think it's going strong now. I think there have been a few duds. Not every season is amazing. We'll just say that.
Right.
Obviously. So I think I would. She was interviewed once by maybe Ellen or some shit like that. I don't know. But she was interviewed, Ellen Pompeo, and she said, I have to keep doing this show as long as it's a positive impact on people's lives. Because she said that she was on set one day and someone on set was a gay man who said, I only came out because I watched this show. Aww. And she said, if I still have that positive impact on people, I have to keep doing the show. I'm obligated. I want to keep doing it. So as long as they keep it modern and keep the storylines good, as long as she keeps doing it, because the moment she's done, that's the end of the show.
Well, yeah.
The show can't go on without her. Like they're gonna. Oh right, she also has Alzheimer's that hasn't presented yet. So I'm assuming the last season is gonna be her like developing Alzheimer's and realizing she can't be a doctor anymore, and that's just how the show is probably gonna end.
She in the show has Alzheimer's, or she in real life?
No. Ellen Pompeo does not have Alzheimer's, as far as I know. No, she, the character, has genetic Alzheimer's disease.
Wild. This show wild. Just sounds. It sounds too wild. How long is each episode? Like.
Oh, it's like a 40, minute, 42 minute, whatever. It's like an hour-long block on TV, so it's like 40-something minute long episodes.
Right.
And the seasons sometimes are like 20-something episodes long. It's a very long show.
I was gonna say, this sounds like a big commitment.
It is. Honestly, I started watching it when like season, 6 was out or something like that, and just catching up before the next season aired I was like, oh my god, it's never gonna end. Like it's never gonna end. But now I never want it to end. I want the show to keep going forever. Like rebrand it if you have to, but like never stop making the show. It's
good. Cute. I think you're right. As long as it's having a positive impact on people, and
yeah,
it's good to keep those kinds of shows going. As long as I like media that is positive. Well, besides people dying, I guess, but.
But it's very real. People do die.
Yeah, people do die, but as long as it's having a positive impact on people, I like that kind of media. I don't stand media that is having negative impacts on people, is triggering
Oh yeah.
people, like
Fox News?
Fox News. Now,
Fox
we're
News?
not talking about news, we're talking about entertainment media,
Yes,
but
yes, 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 yes. Right.
well, this was fun. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I sent you a TikTok. Did you see it?
You sent me a TikTok. I don't know.
The most recent one I sent you is a scene of the two gay guys, and I want you to watch it and just live react to it.
No, I already watched it. I already watched it.
Oh, did you like it?
Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, was it? It was amazing.
Did I need to live react to it?
No, you don't have to. No, you don't have to. No, it's a very hot scene. In that, it's warm.
It's
It's very
warm.
warm.
No, it's
Very
hot.
warm. Well, they're in like scrubs and masks and stuff. They're sweating all day.
Is that because of COVID? Is that why they're in masks?
Yes, that's because of COVID. Yes.
I thought it could have just been, they're in a hospital. You never know.
Well, yeah, that's it. But now, specifically, this season is because of COVID. Yes.
Got it. Do you want to explain to everyone what the scene is?
It's I'll put it in the most Christian words I can. Two people once deeply liked each other. They're no longer together, but one of them sees the other one struggling, dealing with this whole COVID pandemic and losing patients constantly. So while one of them is very strong and like resolute and unaffected for the most part by this whole debacle, the other one's very sensitive and needs support. So the strong one waltzes in and is like, I'll be here for you to help you de-stress. And the other guy's like, that's nice of you to say. And the other one's like, well, I'm going to help you de-stress with my mouth. And then that's what happened.
Oh. Mouth to where? Exactly.
Not mouth to mouth, not during COVID. That's for damn sure. We're not exchanging that kind of stuff.
No. Absolutely not.
But yeah, I love those two. Those two are my favorite. They're my favorite couple, even though they're not together right now.
Aw, I love you. Amazing. Well, thank you for telling me.
Someone does.
Oh. Well, thank you for telling me about this show that I have never seen before. Maybe I'll start watching it.
Oh, you should. You should.
Please. Should we do more like TV show episodes where we just gossip about different TV shows that we like?
If they're relevant. Like if they're impactful, I should say.
Okay.
if you know, because like I don't want to talk about like fucking The Apprentice with Donald Trump. I don't want to
ew. No. Why would you even bring that up?
I know, cursed television. I should have brought it up. But if you have something like you truly like that truly impacted you or impacts society, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, maybe we can do one on Avatar.
Oh my god, the movie with the blue people?
No.
The M. Night Shyamalan film?
No.
A critically reviewed masterpiece by M. Night Shyamalan?
No. The two cartoon shows, The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra.
I'll go off on Legend of Korra. I will go off on it.
Oh my god.
Well, this was great.
This was fun.
I loved it.
Yes. Thank you for telling me about the show.
You're welcome.
Whether or not I watch it will be whether or not I decide to actually start a new show, which is already a struggle.
It is.
Does anyone else have that where they just like struggle to start new shows and instead they just go back to old shows that they like and keep watching?
Yeah, I've rewatched Legend of Korra like 4 times recently. Just because it's so good. I can't invest in new people and new characters. That could hurt me.
That could hurt me. Although I did start watching The Queen's Gambit on Netflix, which is pretty good.
I'm on the last episode.
Oh, are you? I'm only like 4 episodes in, so don't spoil me.
It's very good.
It is good.
It is good.
Highly recommend to people that are listening. Anyway, let's sign off for this one, unless you have anything else you wanted to discuss.
No, I'm good. That was it.
Cool. Well, I loved it. Let's sign off for this one. Thanks everyone for listening/watching. I'm Mac Lubeck.
And I'm the windstorm that makes gay couples have sex in ambulances, Patrick.
All right, and we're signing off. That's what the gays think about Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, it is.